I've recently observed that something we never seem to ventilate when the topic of book talk is brought up is their origin. Like, real talk, what was their villain backstory? Where did they come from? Why are they here? What are they planning? What are their end goals? The list goes on. Because I feel as though it's vital to explore these queries thoroughly when discussing book talk as the formidable antagonists that they are. And I've just had a trailblazing epiphany that I believe may solve the mystery of book talk and get us one step closer to defeating them once and for all. Hear me out. Book talk gooners are literally just Draco talk gooners grown up. Walk with me now. Now listen, insinuating that these freaks grew up is a bold and frankly fallacious proposition. Leveled up is a more suitable euphemism. Not that book talk isn't improving by any means, but they have undeniably gotten stronger. Draco talk was a revolutionary era of TikTok in which motherfuckers thirsted over Harry Potter characters, most notably being Draco Malfoy. Draco talk was responsible for a variety of excruciating watches, including those Draco XY/N POVs. It was so widespread that I would even call it a cultural phenomenon. And yet, despite their tectonic plate striking presence, Draco talk vanished off the face of the earth after 2020, never to be seen or heard from again. Or so we thought. See, now, I firmly believe that all the Draco talk gooners want us to believe that they're gone, but are still very much extant, out there in the shadows, cooking, plotting, scheming up a storm, excogitating their next attack on our sanity, only this time under their new moniker, Book Talk. Draco Talk was just their season 1. That was them testing the waters to assess if world domination was within their reach, and based on the success of Draco Talk, I gather that they've deemed it possible. And so, alas, after all these years, they've returned with an ingenious master plan, reappearing out of the blue, going completely unnoticed like Voldemort did in the Goblet of Fire. They've grown stronger, smarter, and significantly freakier, and worst of all, they've returned with allies. Bike Talk, their very own Bellatrix, a formidable alliance indeed, as they feed off of each other's mutual gooning. And now they're building an empire, they're taking over the world, and we are all doomed! Or should I say, gooned. To put this in Death Note terms, Book Talk is Kira, Draco Talk was Light Yagami, aka the same person, Bike Talk is Misa, and I am L. And y'all might think I'm tweaking and geeking, but think about it! Draco Talk was responsible for perpetuating gooning to an entire generation of people, and we all blame them in quarantine, but I see beneath that mirage that they fabricated. Their end goal is to ascertain our souls and subject us all to gooning culture by taking advantage of our rotted brains, just like how they took advantage of our boredom during quarantine, and thus they will achieve complete world domination. And I'm also under the belief that Draco Talk intentionally designed Book Talk as a safe coterie for fellow reading enthusiasts alike, and then slowly but surely molded it into the fucking circus that it is now. And through the chicanery, they hoodwinked all of you into believing that Book Talk was corrupted by freaks, but I see through that baloney. Book Talk was built by freaks! They just made it seem otherwise to alleviate any suspicion about their plans, and it worked. These gooners are incisively astute geniuses. They're literally master manipulators, because firstly, since we all collectively view these Book Talk oddballs as being vacuous, mindless imbeciles, they're able to keep scheming without any suspicion because they know that we don't see them as a worthy threat, because that's what they want us to think. It's brilliant! And secondly, they acknowledge and repaired a fatal flaw in their plan. They realized that if Draco Talk are too annoying, weird, or popular, people could unapologetically hate it without receiving any detrimental backlash. So now, after recalibrating their settings, people can't criticize Book Talk without motherfuckers going like, wow, another classic case of misogynistic undertones masked by valid criticism. Name one thing a woman can enjoy without being made fun of. And thirdly, Book Talk disciples are so stubborn, like they never listen to logic or reason, which is another evil trait they've meticulously developed over time, along with their devotion, because they wake up every day deciding to be Book Talk's lawyer, even though Book Talk would never defend them like that. Stubborn, cunning, loyal, brilliant, and versatile. That's what makes them such a formidable adversity. And this brings me to the final part of my theory. Stay with me, y'all. Draco Talk and Book Talk have a common denominator that links them together. Books. Books are their foundation. Draco Talk, while not based on books and its content, was a community of fanatics for the Harry Potter book series nonetheless. So to expand their influence while also maintaining their same audience, which were readers, they evolved from just the Harry Potter book series to all books in general, thus generating an even larger empire of supporters along with the respective gooning culture that was cultivated during Draco Talk. But I believe there's more to it than that, so riddle me this. Beneath all the fans who contributed to the fandom's popularity at the time, who is really responsible for Draco Talk? That's right, J.K. Rowling. She wrote the Harry Potter series, meaning Draco Talk would have never existed if not for her. J.K. Rowling writing Harry Potter was the first seed she planted on her quest for world domination. The success of her series, the ubiquitous fandom she built, and the Draco Talk gooning epidemic were all planned out from the start. But then according to my theory, Draco Talk vanished and then became Book Talk, so how is J.K. Rowling relevant in that sense? We'll get back to that. Now riddle me this. Who is the first person that comes to your mind when you ponder the downfall of Book Talk? That's right, Colleen Hoover. I, Ellen Lefebvre, believe that Colleen Hoover is J.K. Rowling's vessel. J.K. Rowling is like Orochimaru. She's actually a wizard, just like in her books, so she created a clone of herself with help from the Illuminati and took over Colleen's body using dark magic, thus prolonging her own life eternally. J.K. Rowling wrote all of those goon-inducing books under the Colleen Hoover alias and phantasm, which would ultimately become Book Talk's backbone. She's also rizzed up Bike Talk executives in order to expand their influence on TikTok, and the most notable Book Talk acolytes are also working in cahoots with Rowling because I believe she promised them their Hogwarts letter in exchange for their allegiance back when Draco Talk was in its prime, so now they've evolved into Book Talk gooners that aggrandize J.K. Rowling and serve as a stepping stone to her total domination. She's literally Voldemort! Voldemort was a self-insert, a projection of her own ambitions this entire time. She's been dangling the answer in front of her very faces and yet no one ever noticed. But that changes today. I shall quell the empire that she has so diligently built, because she might have been the real Voldemort this entire time, but let me make myself abundantly clear. I'm the chosen one. So take with that what you will. But then again, this is just my personal theory. Go ahead and call me Matt Pat, because I think I'm right on the money. Book Talk, you have 48 hours to respond to these allegations, and if you choose to remain silent, then I shall be deemed correct. Y'all must have thought you were safe under that alias, huh? Thought you could just sweep under the rug like nothing. But I finally figured you out, Book Talk. I know who you are. I know who you were. I know who's responsible. I know who they're pretending to be, and I know what they're planning. So as long as I'm alive, I refuse to let that happen, because despite your estimable efforts, your clever duplicity, and your brilliant plans, I still caught you. And now, I won't stop
stop until I've vanquished you.
Consider this a declaration of war.